Hi, this is Whitney Robinson with Pickerington Local Schools. We're going to talk today about how to create a custom report. This is kind of an intermediate to advanced feature for those of you who have multiple assessments and multiple student data points that you would like to start looking at in one report and start being able to filter or sort based on particular pieces of data. So first we're going to click on Reports and we're going to create a report. We give it a title. Now remember, you can build as many reports as you like as you're learning this piece of the program, and nobody else can see them unless you decide to share the report. I would put a description into your report so that you know what type of data you're looking at, what the report is supposed to show. That's just a really good feature, so a year from now you look back at it and can tell why you built it in the first place. So title and description, and we hit continue. You're going to go to a page like this. Over here are the types of data that you can filter by, and then these are other filters just like in assessments that you can choose. Let's keep it simple and use just types of data to filter today. Core data includes student demographics, enrollment information, and other pieces of data that may come from your student information system. Typically, we're going to use enrollment. We are also going to use students' demographics and also students' special ed. Those are the main ones that we're going to look at today. Of course, when you're building your own report, you can absolutely look at some of these other categories and columns as you go to build that report. If we look at enrollment, this is where we're going to choose academic year. This is a really important one. You always want to add academic year because you want to filter so that you are only looking at your current school year, or possibly if you want to look at other school years for a student, you could take that filter off. We'll get to that later. I'm also going to add grade level, and then I'm going to go down to students demographics, and I'm going to go to name. Get down here. Ooh. I'll start here actually. I want my local student ID, and then I want last name and first name, and I'll just choose a couple of other things down here. So student is GATE, which is gifted, SED is economically disadvantaged, special ed. These are all true or false statements, so you'll see a T or an F in the report. And then if you really wanted to be able to filter a little bit more, if you go to Students, Special Ed, and if you go to Special Ed, Primary Disability, this will tell you on your report what the primary disability category is for each student. So basically you can fill in all kinds of demographics. I didn't put race in here, but that's another option. All the demographic and personal data pieces on a particular student. And then we're going to click off of core data and we're going to go down to summary assessments, and we're going to update our filters. Because we are going to use our summary assessments such as our RTI information and our RIMP information, core, DIBELS, DRA, we can put all of those things in here so that we can look at multiple assessment data points per student and then filter based on demographics, scores, etc. So for instance, right now, I will just choose DRA Fall Administration. I'll do the IRL for fall, winter, and spring. And then I will also go ahead and do star reading for fall. Let's just go ahead and do the percentile rank and star reading for winter as well. So I've built a lot of columns into this report. I'm going to hit Add Columns to Report, and I can always go back to Add Columns later. I'm right now in the Manage Columns section. So a few things you can do here. You can hide a column. I don't need to see the academic year necessarily. You can also move them up and down. So if you click on the up-down arrow, you can click and drag, or you can choose simply to move something up by one or down by one. You can also delete columns from this screen. So again, this is the Manage Columns screen. So right now, if I were to view this report, I'm seeing all of the information I've built into it. And it's already a pretty long report, and I only have one assessment showing up. Well, two technically. Okay, if I sort by last name, I can see down here that I have some students that I have a 16 and a 17 academic year for. And here's the 5th and 6th grade for that student. This is why I had to put that academic year column in there. So I'm going to use the filters, and I'm going to hit the plus sign to add a filter. I click on the drop-down academic year equals, then I click on this drop-down right here, 2017. And I'm going to hit Save Filters. That way, when I view my report again, now you can't see the student's name, but if I sort by last name, you can see here that only 2017 records are pulling. That's because I said I only want to see records for the 2017 school year. Keep in mind we work on the fiscal year here, so when you come back to school in August, we will be in the 2018 school year. So right now I have gone through adding columns. I have been on the Manage Columns page, and I have applied a filter. Now that I've applied the filter, I don't need to see academic year. And in fact, I don't need to see student ID, last name, or first name either, because I'm going to show this report to you now. Now I can show you this information, and I don't need to worry about giving away student data. So simply by going to Manage Columns, all of this information still exists in the report. I can still filter by this information. For instance, we're filtering the academic year, but I've hidden what I don't want to see. So just to go over this one more time, we've added columns, we've managed columns by hiding a few. We can also reorder them using these arrows to drag and drop. We can delete columns here, and we've placed filters by clicking on the filter category, hitting the plus sign, and any column you can filter by. So for instance, if I wanted to look at certain grade levels, I could go to enrollment and grade level, matches one of these values, and perhaps I only want to see second graders, and so I hit this other little plus sign, third graders. I hit Save Filters. I view the report, and now I went from about 19,000 records to 1,400. There are other things that you can do here. You can use advanced filters. You can add as many filters as you want. When you are managing columns, you actually have the ability to add performance bands so that you color code those columns based on the numeric values that are in that column. So there are a lot more advanced features, but as you first get into this, I really want you just to practice with adding columns and learning how to filter by type of data. Remember, you click on one, you hit Update Filters, then when you're ready to go to a different type of filter, for instance, item bank assessments, you would update that filter as well. And I want you to practice managing columns and just doing some very simple filters. Then we'll come back around on how you color code using performance bands and how you use some of the advanced filtering features to really dig deeper into student data. I hope this has been very useful to you, and I look forward to giving you a few more Illuminate tutorials in the future.